IonQ is a stock that's in the quantum computing space that has been surging the past year. And I want to cover it, show you guys what we got going on here in the markets as we approach the week. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because first, I cover IonQ consistently. We cover the entire quantum tech and AI space. And if that's something that you're interested in, make sure to subscribe. But on top of that, the reason why is because I got a comment just a second ago from somebody said that, hey, pal, if you put IonQ on your thumbnail and don't talk about it, you're intentionally fooling your viewers. Thanks for wasting my time. I didn't intentionally fool you. It was intentionally. I did my Sunday stock talk. We must have covered 20 stocks in this hour and 22-minute analysis for Sunday. Going into this week, we covered Quantum, Rigetti, D-Wave, CTM, Cooler. If you want to check the video, feel free to check the channel in our live sessions. But I'm going to do an IonQ video for Mr. Myrmidon6465. One thing that I really like about IonQ, and hopefully you guys get this, is they're a quantum computing company that is able to calculate and compute down to a molecular level, an ionic level. And that requires a massive amount of computing. If you think about trying to figure out, let's say, a chemical reaction, GPUs and CPUs, classical computers, can come up with a solution to see a chemical reaction on a chemical high level. But when you want to get down to the electrons, when you want to get down to the ions, you have to learn, or you have to have a quantum computer that can compute and be able to make calculations with such high frequency changes in the electrons. And IonQ is a company that is working on that and has been doing that. They're invested in by Microsoft, Nvidia. They're invested in by State Street, BlackRock, really a growing company. They've recently sold off tremendously after they recovered a little bit from this sell-off here. They are overall on an uptrend. They were at around $5 a share before continuing. So what do you need to know about IonQ that can put you in a position to capitalize on some of the moves we see as times are getting a little bit turbulent here this week? We know that there could be some turbulence from potentially finding a trade deal or a deal when it comes to Ukraine and that war. And also, we got some announcements potentially here from the Fed coming up, and there's a lot of bullish sentiment in the crypto market recently. Quantum computing has big events this month, including Nvidia and QBTS, that will play a key role in the outlook for the quantum computing space. We saw a lot of the companies shoot up on Friday. This bounce is pretty good. If we kind of get down to what is our regular one-day analysis and we look at IonQ here, the overall trend is still, it's up from where it was, but now we're seeing it sell down. Let's take a look at the analysis on the near term, and we'll get into the technicals, fundamentals, some of the news, and we'll keep this nice and valuable. The trend here is this support. You see this previous resistance right here, support, and that's where it's trying to break back into. We saw that it sold off a little bit more below that previous support here, and it's starting to try and push back up. Now, if it pushes back up above this 25.80 range, somewhere in here, and validates the support, and then the next level it has to cross over is this 200-day moving average, and that would indicate more bullish momentum. Right now, it's on a downtrend, as you could see recently, and with the exception of potentially bouncing at this support, there's no indication of a reversal. We did start to see it push up above this EMA because this EMA usually acts as a resistance, as you could see, but sometimes it pushes up and then stays down, and that EMA oftentimes acts as a resistance. But we did see it push up after hours on Friday. If it holds above this EMA, starts to maybe make a little bit more of a recovery, then that could be very nice for IonQ. Now, the technicals are pointing to, if that's the case, maybe we see that bounce take place. The next level is this resistance. That was in the best drawing right here, this resistance, this support, And this level right here, this is also a support. So we saw that right there. There's a support, and then it also acted as a resistance on its way down. So we could see this is kind of the next level. We'd like to see it swing up if we're going to see any indication of a recovery. Be about a 10% increase from $25 up to $28.50. And then if it breaks above, then we might be off to the races. That would be touching that 200-day moving average. You can see it break above. But again, we got to wait for some confirmation. So that's how the technicals look. On the fundamental side, the news, IonQ, a couple things to consider. This is a company that is very much ahead of most of quantum. They were selected at actually, that's interesting. They just announced an at-market equity offering program for up to $500 million. That's good for them. But they were at CES, and I got to go meet some of their executives and IBM executives and Microsoft. IBM's head of quantum, or I think it was the vice president of quantum. And they changed their name here on their website to say Quantum is Now. You can see some of their use cases that they're implementing, as well as their partners. So direct carbons, basically filtering out carbon from the air, which is good. Better battery materials. A good example they used was the 30 million data points from 20 years of research on lithium-ion batteries. They took all of those data points with a classical computer, put it into a quantum computer, got it down to 8 options, and within 6 months, they improved the lithium-ion batteries efficiency by 70%. So these are the types of things these quantum computing companies are solving, massive problems that most people would never even think of being able to solve. Quantum computers are making it happen. Same thing with drug discovery. With 1,000 algorithmic qubits, they can help revolutionize pharmaceutical industries as well, and they're in machine learning too. So some of their partners include these companies like NVIDIA. You see Microsoft, so you can use this company through the cloud, this quantum computer through the cloud. They're not making a lot of money, and that's what a lot of people look for. You see these partnerships with Lockheed Martin, so maybe they're plugging into businesses like Hyundai. You can see Air Force Research Lab. They're plugging into businesses like Microsoft and Amazon and Google Cloud and GE. But we need to see some more money come in. Now they're getting lots of funding. Okay, they're getting funding from a couple places. One of the main ones that I would see in the near future is this Quantum Reauthorization Act. It's the Quantum Initiative, $2.7 billion stimulus. This is a bill that is right now potentially going to get passed. If it gets passed, you can see some of the companies that are standing to benefit are IonQ. And you can see IonQ mentioned in this article right here. See, IonQ applauds the senator, and they say that the U.S. government to employ quantum computing networking technologies to help address many of society's complex challenges in areas such as security, finance, manufacturing, and life sciences. So the reason that this is such a big deal is this could give them more runway, more cash to make things happen. Not like they don't already have a lot of institutional investors and big companies like NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Amazon, and Google, but it's still good to see that they're going to be getting some additional funding. IonQ's financials. So we like to trade companies that are financially sound, but we also like to trade companies and invest in companies that are in a nice place for the future. IonQ is in a great place for the future when you look at some of their news. If we look at, before we get into the financials, actually, let's jump into their newsroom and see if they had anything recently. They had that $500 million offering. They recently announced their fourth quarter earnings, which we're just about to take a look at. And then IonQ names Nicola de Masi as president and chief executive officer. So they got a new CEO, this gentleman right here. He's taken the role of executive chair. He's a leader. IonQ is a leader in quantum computing and networking industries. Today announced that the company's board of directors has appointed Nicola de Masi as president and chief executive officer. Nicola will begin this new role effective immediately, and Peter Chapman will continue leadership role of IonQ's executive chair. So CEO just not stepping out, but stepping down. Nicolo has served on IonQ's board of directors since 2021. He's a seasoned public company CEO, and he has held C-suite positions at publicly traded companies such as Monster Mob Group, Resetio Technologies, Glue Mobile, and most recently served as director and CEO at DMI Squared Technology Group. That's interesting. He also is the chief executive officer of DMI Technology Group 3, the special purpose acquisition company that took IonQ public via SPAC merger in 2021. So he also holds a bachelor's of science in physics from Cambridge, and his career with roles at both Siemens Solar and Technicolor. So this CEO seems to be fairly well qualified, at least has a good understanding of physics, as that's his bachelor's. I'm not sure about, it seems that if he's a CEO, he has some other companies he's worked with that potentially looks good. In total, he's raised about $3 billion in equity to support public and private companies he has led. That's really good. They're definitely going to need funding because would you look at this? IonQ's financials, the revenue, $11 million in the quarter four 2024. $11 million in revenue. Not bad. Up 91% year over year. That sounds great. But take a look. Net income down negative $202 million. That's down 382% year over year. So their net profit margins are down 151%. They're losing money. The problem with any of the future-based companies is that you're going to see that that's obviously a focus. Is this company going to turn profits? And it's going to hurt investor sentiment when they don't. But this is a company that you're buying what could be. The type of technology that they're developing is for research and is most likely going to solve, and is already solving right now, some of the biggest problems that we have in the world. When you look at some of the climate changes that they're looking at, some of the battery infrastructure that they're building, and drug discovery, we're talking about cures and treatments for things like cancer. Those are actually on the ballot. Like, those are things they do and have mentioned are a focus for their company, at least when I went and talked to them at CES in Las Vegas in 2025 here. The earnings per share was down. Their revenue is beating. So they're increasing their revenue. That's good. The news on the company, they haven't had any groundbreaking releases as of lately, except for this new CEO, which I wouldn't call groundbreaking, but they've had that new $500 million public share offering. I think there's going to be some more stuff to look forward to at their new conference, the new conference, NVIDIA's conference on March 20th. See if there's any new developments that come out in the quantum computing space. But one thing to consider, this is a company that is working already with some of the biggest tech companies in the world. That's going to put them in a good position when things start to develop in quantum. The other thing to consider about IonQ, they're in the AI boom. They are definitely going to be, like, we have CPUs, then we have GPUs, and then we have the development of QPUs. And I want to make sure that this doesn't go unnoticed. QPUs are the next evolution of running AI in the most effective way possible in 2025 and beyond. And not solely QPUs, but definitely in tandem with GPUs. So IonQ's there, you see them sell off. This is a level we'll have to see if they recover through. I could expect that they could potentially recover. And one thing I want to check too is what was some of their net, what's their net and cash look like? What does their financials look like from a bigger timeline? Let's see, the past few quarters. looks pretty, yeah. Looks year over year, 76%, then 100% year over year. Year over year, they're really increasing in revenue. It's the net income that's driving them down. And that's part of what's going to drive their stock down. They need to see that. They don't need to see that, but it's definitely something that investors want to see. So when it comes to the chart, there's this level that they're going to have to break through. If they get up above that $28 range, then we could start to see indication of a reversal. So again, if they break above $28, I would be more bullish and potentially be looking to buy them, because from there, the next pretty well established level is right here. You can see this is a previous resistance, previous support, and previous support oftentimes will act as a resistance. So if that's the case, we'd be looking at a recovery from here to here, but we probably wouldn't buy until they get into this range. It's about a 23% increase. Now we'll have to see if anything presents itself here at market open. And if you guys have made it this far, you're serious about leveling up your trading, here's the reality. Consistent profits, they're not going to come from guessing or going at it alone in the markets. The traders that are winning are plugged into more of a system that actually works. And that's exactly why I built StockMate. We have live trading with real-time entries and exits and a proven system that I would say is designed to get you results. There's no fluff. It's just execution. And if you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start seeing some real gains, now's the time, guys. Take action. Hit that link below. Join us inside StockMate. I'll see you in our live session in the markets. Let's get to work. See you guys in the next video. Take care.